So, big question here for you. Are Funko Pops a thing of the past? Hey everybody, welcome back to Pun Fun, where we have fun with the puns. My name is Ryan, and we're going to open up some really cool packages that we've received. One of which, of course, is a Funko Pop by Rob Liefeld, so the creator of Deadpool. So to justify, Pops being thriving, or is it something that's dying? We're going to get into that at the very end of the video. We're also going to touch on a few other subjects, for example, certificates of authenticity. Where are you supposed to stick them? We'll get into a little bit of that, debate and what makes or break a collectible. But that being said, we're going to get into this big mail call over here. So this includes some Kickstarters from Dan Mendoza, also stuff from his Patreon. It also includes a comic book from Mutant Comics. So we're not sponsored by any of these people in any way. But yeah, they're actually really cool people to deal with, especially like with online comic purchasing. You don't always have like the best of people in some parts. However, everybody else is amazing and they're two different things, and get the job done. So please don't discriminate or judge this industry regarding maybe one or two experiences that you've had. I've had quite a bit, and Mutant Comics has been great. Anyways, we're rambling. Let's just get into it. I'm going to do a little pre-cut. I mean, I've always pre-cutted these in the beginning, just so it's one less thing to do, less time consuming, and can get this out of the way. This I didn't do, so I'm gonna have to do a little edit. All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, we can get into things. One thing I want to get into is online vendors for comic books. So for the most part, honestly, if you're a comic book store artist, I would say maybe 99% of all online vendors have been great. You may have that one or two bad eggs, but I mean that shouldn't reflect on the entire industry. If you're not sure, you can always get onto comic book communities. They'll definitely guide you and let you know who to deal with, who not to deal with. But for the most part, yeah, I mean they're pretty straightforward and honest people. So yeah, nothing to fret on that end. Yeah, I was having a hard time there. All right. Oh, I think I made a mistake. It's not Mutant Comics, it's Mutant Beaver Comics. Oh, dang, I got 2 books. Okay, we got a bonus. Well, thank you, Mutant Beaver Comics. I mean, definitely going above and beyond. And it's cool because this was actually a book I had in my cart, so I don't know if that was taken consideration or if it was just, I don't know. Thank you again. Initially, I came for this one. So, Action Comics. So, this is Warren Louw's, well, it's an homage to his, or paying homage to his first comic book that he did for them, which was for Power Girl. Again, thank you, Mutant Comics. Wow, these are so cool. Thank you. And speaking of top notch, we have Still Ill. So we have Dan Mendoza, Nightmare Lynch, Drax Gal, and the gang. We just move these stretch goals out of the way. So this here is for Cannibal Kitty. So this is a Kickstarter they had. We got the books. Oops, we're just gonna have to remove. Let's just say keep it like PG. So with a little editing. Perfect. So great cover by Dan. There's another cover in the back. And yeah, I mean the story is by Nightmare Lynch. I mean it's crazy. It's raw. It's a little bit of violence. Definitely an homage to horror movies and the genre itself. Definitely want to check that out. So we got an air freshener again with that old school art. I gotta check it out. Who's the artist? And probably have to follow him as well. One by Drax. Yeah, definitely cool. Here one by Dan Mendoza. And again, yeah, I definitely have to check it out. It reminds me of, what is it called? Mr. Cups. Anyways, and we got a keychain here. And a sticker. Alright, let's get this all out of the way and get the Patreon stuff out. So what's cool about Dan's Patreon is that you get involved in the sense that you... Oh, wait, hold up. So there is going to be a Lady Dead, so by Brian Polito, and Zombie Tramp crossover, so super excited about that. Anyways, so for Dan's Patreon, you get involved in terms of like, you actually get involved in the story, but also there's live demos and he asks like, what is it that we like. So here, for example, is a tribute. Well, actually, not only it's a tribute, but it's a human cover. So instead of being a zombie, this is Janny Bell, and always, for a mature audience. So you definitely want to check them out at Still Ill, always doing it right. Now, a cool piece. So this is my first Whatnot purchase. So definitely cool to break the seal with Rob Liefeld. Not only is it a pop, but it also has a remark on it, and it has this chiseled signature on it, so I'll show you guys what that is. Also, like I said, the certificate of authenticity. What's cool of how they do it is kind of like the Stan Lee collectibles as well, is it comes with a sticker, so you can actually like link both products to the certificate, and we'll get into some of the details of like, should you stick it, should you not stick it, where should you stick it, and yeah, please keep it friendly in the comments, especially regarding where you can stick it. So yeah, so this was bought for Team Pun Fun. Yeah, packaging has been great. I mean, look at this. It's a box within a box. Everything seems super secure. I mean, we'll check out the quality as soon as we open it. But yeah, so far, David, I think it was David, definitely brought it. He's one of his assistants on his shows. And if you haven't seen Rob Liefeld's Whatnot show, you definitely want to check it out. It's a fun time. It's actually hilarious. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, let's get into this. So we got Venom Pool, and we have a Deadpool remark on the front. So this is awesome. So for example, if you're getting pops, good for you. And if there are certain values and certain limits, quantities and stuff like that, as long as they make you happy, that's great. Will they always keep their value going down the line? I'm not sure. What should matter though, like something like this, sometimes there's like little words written on them. Anyways, if you get something like sketched on or signed by one of your favorite artists or an actor and so on, I mean, yeah, I mean, how wouldn't it, grow in value and all that? So yeah, I mean, I've always bought these or pops for decorative purposes anyways, and I think this is where I'm going to put the stickers, because that's kind of where the JSA puts them. But I think it's a different story, especially for comic books. Oh, if you haven't noticed, this here is like a fluorescent kind of paint. I'm going to give you guys an example of what it kind of looks like. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a better angle. See, that's the chisel signature on the side. Yeah, this is awesome. Very cool. Very, very cool. So there you have it, folks. I will stick my sticker on the side of the pop, kind of like this one here that I had done, there you go, by Kevin Eastman. So you have this really cool 8-bit, and it was signed by Kevin Eastman. This, however, was not planned or done by myself. It was actually ordered this way, and the certificate by JSA, for example, was sticked as that. So I'm probably going to follow the same suit. So I'm actually going to go ahead and ask some of the comic book communities, from pro veterans to newbies to anything in between, what are their take on it? Like, what would make a collectible still a collectible, or what would ruin a collectible if it, even matters? I guess if you want to resell, that's where it really becomes critical. If you're keeping it for yourself and forevermore, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's more for your preference. But yeah, I'm actually going to make a video with those answers. I'd actually love to hear from you. Where would you put your sticker for your certificate of authenticity on your pops, on your figures, even your comic books? Some people would put it, like for example, at the Stan Lee collectibles, they had us put it directly on a comic book. Does that depreciate? Does that appreciate? I mean, it probably does because it has a signature on it now for sure. But would it be more if it was just there to seal, for example, that envelope? However, we do change the packet. Anyways, there's a lot to unpack with that subject alone, which I think I'm going to dedicate a video to. So you're definitely going to want to hang around to check that out. And one last thing before we go, speaking of comic book communities, you definitely want to check out the Toronto Comic Con this weekend. I mean, there's going to be crazy local talents and just talent abundantly. You definitely want to go show your support to these creators and artists. I mean, we've had some of them on our show. So if you're not familiar, we have interviews with a lot of comic book artists, and we wish to have that list grow as we continue. But yeah, you can definitely check it out and have this, a peek of who we've had before. You can definitely check them out and say, hey, we saw them on Team Pun Fun. I think they would appreciate it. I know we would. That being said, you definitely want to buy a sticker, a print, a comic book, a commission, a sketch. Anything and everything helps. Even a shout out, just any way you can show your support is always appreciated by your local comic book stores, the artists, and anybody in the community itself. And now, speaking of support, if you've enjoyed this episode, I would highly suggest you hit that like button. If you want to check out what are the answers regarding the certificates, you can definitely subscribe to our channel. This way you'll be notified when that episode comes out. You may also want to check out, a few of our interviews we've had with the artists, as we mentioned before. And yeah, there's so much cool stuff that's coming up for year 3. You don't want to miss out. You may want to hit that bell, just, this way you get a heads up. Anyways, putting all of that aside, regardless what it is you choose to collect, may it be pops, may it be teeny babies, whatever it is, comic books and blah blah blah, as long as you're in it for yourself, that is, that's the, I think, number one priority. I think one thing that will never really depreciate are comic books, so that's like always your sure thing. When it comes to more of the trendy stuff, like like I said, those other products, it kind of goes up and down. So definitely you want to go more on a personal side than just like a resale kind of side. But again, those are my 2 cents. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on trending products, like for example Funko Pops, as you mentioned, teeny babies, pogs maybe, for example. Put in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Take it easy, guys. Peace.